How's it going, guys? So a few weeks ago I made a video where I gave my Premier League table predictions for the end of the season. In that video I placed my team, Chelsea, in third. Now a lot has changed at the club since then, and I never had them written off from the title race to begin with. So with that in mind, let's have a look at what Chelsea's title hopes are this season. And I mean, they have to be better than my hopes of becoming an artist, because this thing is just fucking dreadful. But who cares? This is a football show, not an art show, so let's get on with it. The first and most obvious factor I'm going to talk about is our transfers. We've finally been able to spend our Eden Hazard money, and we definitely haven't been shy about doing it. So far, we've brought in 5 players that I think will have a big impact on our first team squad this season. Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, and, following a long drawn-out saga, Kai Havertz. I've had people say that it doesn't matter how many transfers we make, we won't challenge for anything as long as none of those transfers are a goalkeeper. And while I won't be the first to jump to Kepa's defence, he has made some terrific saves at the club. I don't know what it is with his confidence, why he doesn't dive for some shots, but I do think that there is a very good goalkeeper in there somewhere. All I'm saying is that if Lampard decides to hand the guy yet another lifeline, I hope for the good of both him and the club that he decides to grab that chance and start to really shine. Still, there's been a lot of talk about how the young Spaniard has lost the trust of his defence, and I feel like this is where Thiago Silva comes in. Here is a defender who's seen it all, and I'm hoping he's able to grab our defence by the scruff of the neck and say to them, he is your goalkeeper. Protect your goal, protect your goalie, and let the rest of the players worry about what happens further up the pitch. The Brazilian should also be helped by new left-back Ben Chilwell bringing a bit more balance to the role. Marcos Alonso might be exciting to watch, but he just doesn't seem to understand that it can't be attack, attack, attack all the time. I do feel like 50 million is a bit much for Chilwell, but hopefully he does become a big part of what is an actual defensive unit for Chelsea. Moving on to our new offensive signings, and I don't think anyone would be surprised to see us lining out with an attacking midfield trio of Havertz, Ziyech and Pulisic, with Timo Werner leading the line. In Timo Werner, we have a striker who you would expect to get 15 goals a season playing for any team in the Premier League. So playing for Chelsea, with those 3 presumably creating chance after chance for him, he should surely be one of the favourites for the Golden Boot. Plus, you would expect Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech and Christian Pulisic to chip in with at least a combined 30 goals this season themselves. In fact, if they don't, I'll spend the first North West London derby of the 21-22 season in an Arsenal jersey. So yeah, don't let me down, lads. The next factor that I think could lead Chelsea to title success this season is the experience they've gained in the last 12 months. And not just the squad, but the manager as well. When Frank Lampard was first appointed as Chelsea manager, many people were labelling it as an insane decision. Yes, he's a club legend, but he only had 1 year of managerial experience and it wasn't even in England's top division. Well, look at him now. Last season he guided Chelsea to a 4th place finish, an FA Cup final, and out of the Champions League group stage. It certainly seems that his doubters have lost their voices. Moving on to the players now, and obviously last season was a big breakout year for a lot of the younger lads at Chelsea. With all the new signings coming in, of course, they won't get as much time on the pitch this time around, but still, we now have a squad of hungry, talented players who, for the most part, have a full year of Premier League experience under their belts. I genuinely believe that we now have strong coverage across every area of the pitch. So even if crucial players like Pulisic or Werner were to get injured, we have the likes of Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham ready to come on and take their place. With such strong strength and depth, it's hard to see how we won't be challenging for the title this season. The final factor that will determine whether or not we manage to clinch the title this season is how our rivals fare. Our main rivals being, in my opinion, Manchester City, Manchester United and Liverpool. Now, if Man City or Liverpool go and have runaway seasons like they've each enjoyed over the last couple of years, then there'll be no stopping them. Thankfully, I feel as though the other teams around them, not only Chelsea, have gotten too strong for the title to be that one-sided this season. Firstly, let's look at the current champions, Liverpool. Honestly, they looked tired towards the end of last season, and that seems to have carried into their pre-season preparations. If they don't start looking to freshen up their squad, then I think they could already be out of the title race going into the final few game weeks. Next up is Manchester United, who have been playing some fantastic football in the last 8 months. I can see them struggling a bit against the other top teams, but brushing aside all the teams in the lower half of the table, which should be enough to keep them in contention. Finally, we have Pep's Manchester City. With the term fraudiola being thrown out since his team was booted out of the Champions League by Lyon, I think he'll be out to prove a point this season. While I do think he got his tactics horribly wrong in that match, I don't think there's any denying that he is a fantastic manager with a fantastic squad at his disposal, which is why I think they will be Chelsea's biggest obstacle to winning the title this season. This is made especially interesting by the fact that Man City are one of our final 4 opponents in the league this season, the other 3 being Arsenal, Leicester and Aston Villa. As difficult as it might sound, I feel like we need to take 9 of those 12 points on offer to maintain a title challenge, and it will be crucial that 3 of those points come in that crunch game against Manchester City. Anyway lads, those are my thoughts on Chelsea's title hopes this season. Do you think the Blues should be considered one of the favourites, or do you see them as more of a dark horse? Comment below, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.